Hi class, today is week 10, so as I promised, this is the pre-recorded lecture. So before we start, I just want to mention that remember to sign your attendance for today. And we move on to our chapter content. We will cover on the data validations, formula auditing, and the worksheet and workbook protection, and lastly, text functions. So what is data validation? Data validation is define what data is valid in particular cells. So the tools is we need the tools to create the rules that define what data is valid in the cells, in the cell. So the validation rule, we need to specify the type of the data that is appropriate and the range of the acceptable values. So the next one will be input message. So it identify the kind of data that users should be entered, and for those data that user key in wrongly, it will come out with the error alert that showing that your data is key in wrongly, so you need to have some amendment. So this is the step of the data validations by using the tools. So the first one is set up the data validation rules. The second is to create the input message. The third one is specify the error alert, style, and message. So this is the data validation, the dialog box. In the setting tab, you need to click the type of the data to be considered as the valid in the cells. So this is the allow box options from any value until the custom. So you may read by your own. And if this is the example, so we move to the example and the situation in the Excel. So I give you a case scenario that you are as a financial analyst for the zone company is working closely with the apparel divisions to develop annual income projection for individual product within the product group, such as outerwear, custom clothing, swimwear, and accessories. A former intern created a preliminary Excel workbook contain the income projection for the zone sport sunglass line, which is the worksheet number 1, the intern sheet, which is part of the accessory product group. So you are planning to use this workbook to develop a projected income statement workbook template, which is the second worksheet is named as the projected income. So the Excel template is a workbook that is set up in the organized and consistent manner to make the data entry efficient and accurate, and to ultimately perform the required calculations. So ideally you want the workbook template to be uniform and error free as possible. So this is the situations. But however, you see at the projection income, unit sales are zero. Okay, because the unit sales are incorrect. And then the unit price is displayed an error, and the calculation based on the unit sales and the assumptions, it will affect to the projections because all will be errors. The result is an A. So why? Because the production name with the additional space on the projected income worksheet does not match and entries on other worksheet without the additional space. So in order to do that, you need to do the validation tools features. So from here, you go for the data, you go for the data validation here, you click it, data validations, but make sure you are in the before sales. So you go for the list. Okay, source is the here A3 until A11, you click OK. Then when you choose the before, you go for the markdown arrows, then you click hide item pen, so the value will come out and it's applied for the others. Okay, this is for the setting up the data validation rules. So we are moving to the next one, is creating an input message. For creating input message, you are concerned about the other data input on the production income worksheet. So when the user enter the tax rate, so for this situation, it's given that the tax rate can be vary between 0% until 35%. So here is a tax rate, so the 35%. So you want to limit the data keying error on the tax rate itself. So you need to tell the user that you only can key in the value between 0 until 35. So by doing it is through data validation also. So but we go for the setting first, then we go for the decimal. The data is between 0, the maximum is 0.35 since it's a percentage. Then you go for the input message. So what we should key in the message? So the title is a tax rate. Input message is the valid tax rate between 0% and 35%. Cell is formatted as a percent. So entered a value between 0 and 35. Dot. Okay, then make sure the show input message when cells is selected is checked. After that, you click OK. So it will tell you that you need to key in the valid tax rate is between 0 and 35. So how about when you want to specify the error alert style and message when the user is wrongly keying the data? So and with the situation of COGS, you see the COGS is 3000. So something is wrong there. Something is wrong there. Why? Because that's not the EPS value is now showing its negative number. So as much the zone company plan for profit, the losses are entirely possible. So a negative NPS value is not impossible. So you want to know, but you know it, the sunglass product have always been profitable. So you check the transfer, so you realize the COGS percentage in sales PA is too high. It's actually set as 3000%. So meaning that the cost of goods sold is three times the selling price. So $50 pair of glasses costs us $150 to manufacture it. So you check the information provided by the sunglasses division to find that the COGS should be 30%. So here means is keyed wrongly. So you go for the data validations. Error alert. Make sure you are in the B4 sales. Okay. So for this situation, you give a warning. Title is the COGS. Okay. Error message here. You need to key in as the values for COGS should be positive. If the value exceed 100% COGS exceed the sales price. Remember, the cell is formatted as a percent. So entering the value 30 will result in COGS equal to 30%. 30%. Okay. So let us try. Something wrong here. So I missed out one step is the setting. So I need to change this decimal 0%. 0.01 is 1%, so it's 1 here. Click OK. If let's say I try, okay, it will be correct since you need to type 30% or the value is below by 100%. So we need to 100%. Okay, that's correct because it's within the value. If like let's say 1%, it's correct. So based on the given info, our COGS is 30%, so this is correct one. So we will know why the error alert is important, because it will reduce the mistake made by human. So we done for the setting the data validation rules, creating the information messages, and specify the error alert. So the last one is the circle the invalid data. So it's quite easy. We go back to the data, back to the data tools, data validations, circle the invalid data. You click it. So this is the invalid data, because just now we set the error alert say is it should be below 100%. So it should be equal to 100% or below 100%. So it's here is 3,306. So it will be circled. So how to remove the circle? Click the same place, so you clear the validation circles. Or you change back to the correct information, which is 30%, so the circle will be gone. Okay, this is the first sections of the today chapters is the data validations. Okay, from the example I show you, okay, this is the data validation dialog box. Here that's how we complete for the list and the sources, and make sure this ignore blank and in cell dropout is click, check, and then we should key in the input message for the text read. Okay, so you create the input message, so you need to check the first one and the input the title and the telling the message that you should be keying between 0 until 35. So when this is the error alert style, if stop, then you must to be corrected immediately. Warning is you can be accept or correct. Information is you don't need to you can accept, but you don't need to cancel it. You are allowed to accept or cancel it. It depends. Its warning is it can be cancelled or accept. If accept, the entry will override the validation rule for the sale. So here is this is the circling the invalid data. So from here is 3000. So the red circle appeared around the C or around the cells B8 is indicate the value does not meet the validation rules set for these sales. So here is the validations. So you circle you click the circle invalid data, it will circle it. If you want to clear, if you don't want the circle, you click the clear validation circles. So now we move to the protection workbook protections. Okay, there are several ways to protect the workbook. So how we protect? We can lock it, we can hide it, we can restrict the action of the users, or we can allow only the certain user or user group to access, or prevent the worksheet being deleted from the workbook. So there are several level of protections. You may choose which is appropriate. Here is the 3 levels. Either is worksheet within the worksheet, or the within the workbook, or the totally entire file. So why we need to protect the workbook? So it allows the user to change the content. So why we need to protect? Because the security, the data losing, so data protection. So this is a main things we need to protect we need to protect our workbook. So before we do the workbook protections, we need to unlock the cells where you want to change it. So the step is like this. So the step is you want to unlock the cell we created for the user input. So where you go? You go right click, format cells, protections. You just uncheck the lock. Uncheck the lockbox. Lockbox, then you click OK. Okay. After that, you go for the review tab. Then you go to protect worksheet. So this is the protect sheet dialog box. So it has few features. At the first is the include the password to unprotect the worksheet. Okay, this is the optional one if you want to create a password by your own to protect your worksheet. But the second one, protect the worksheet and the contents of locked cells, is you need to make sure is check. This is tick. So this is the features that you allow the all user of this worksheet to do all the features. Okay, if you uncheck it, so it means you disallow the user to do the following features. So this is by default. If you click OK, so when you go to the cell, you right click on it, so you cannot see anything that you can do. You cannot see anything you can do because it's being grayscale. So when you want to insert, you cannot do insert. You want delete, you cannot do delete. So it's protect the worksheet being changed. So how to do the unprotect? You click the unprotect worksheet. It will back to the normal, or back to normal, that you can amend the worksheet as you want. So if let's say I create the password 123, key in again 123 password. So here is already protected. So if you want to unprotect, so you need to key in the password back. For example, if the password is 123, you may create another better password. This is the method number 1. Method number 2 is you go to the file, info, protect workbook. Okay, here you got the protect current sheet. Okay, after you click, it will come up with the same features. So this is the method number 2. How to unprotect it is the same as the just now. If let's say I put the password, we enter password again. So you go back to the file, info, then you click this unprotect. You key in the password. Then here it will go back as the same. So it depends on you want to use which method. So for the next one is protect the workbook. Protect the workbook is not as same as the protect the worksheet. Worksheet is within that particular worksheet what the content, or more specific is the content in the cells can be changes. Workbook is the whole thing from the worksheet. So the each worksheet you protect. So each worksheet this is like let's say I protect the workbook. I key in the password. Let's say 123. So you key in back again. So when I right click, all here it will be grayscale. So you cannot do anything or any changes from this. So it's applied to the same thing for the sale expensive, data, and the others worksheet. So if you want to unprotect it, just click it back. So you key in the password, then it will back as usual. Okay, so we back to our slide. So back to our slide here. So by protecting the worksheet, user cannot change the content of the log cell. So you need to specify what the user can do in the worksheet, like format or entry data. You can specify the password, so the user can enter a case sensitive password before they remove the protections. For my practice, it's better you set your password in order to make your data, you make your Excel file is more even secure. So okay. So the next one is you want to hide or unhide the column. So we're back to our Excel. Okay. Excel, you go for the cell history. So what is unhide and hide the column? So it's one of the way to protect your work by hide the cells so that the user cannot see them. So it's this one. Okay. So if let's say from this cell history, you want to hide the salesperson name. So you click on the here, you select all of the column B. So you right click on it, you hide. So it will be hide the column B. So the column B is being hidden. So how to unhide the column B? You click on you highlight the column A and column C. You right click on it, then you unhide. So the column B will came back. Okay, this is method number 1. It's the fastest one. Method number B is you select the column B, you go to the home tab, you go to format, then you go to the visibility, hide and unhide, you hide the column. Since the column B is column, so done. So if you want to unhide it, you go back to the home tab, format, hide and unhide, you go for the unhide the column B will be back. So it applies same to the rows, same thing, rows, you click the rows that you want. Let's say here is row number 5, you hide it, so the row number 5 will be hidden. So if you want to unhide it, you just highlight the row number 4 and number 6, then unhide it, then the row number 5 will be back. So it apply to the same thing to the second method. So the home tab, format, visibility, hide the rows. So the rows will be, the row number 5 will be hidden. If you unhide the rows, so the row number 5 will be come back. So this is the second method. Okay, then if still remember, say we have the level of protections. So the last as the most secure one is the file, the file level. File level is you go to the file, info, protect workbook. Okay. So the file, the protection is you encrypt with the password. After you encrypt with the password, let's say 123, you OK it, we enter the it. So this whole file will be protected based on the password that you set. So when you close it out, when you want to open it, you need to key in the password. So this is the most secure way to protect your Excel file. Okay, but if you want to remove the password, you just delete the password, then you click OK, then it will back to the usual that you no need a password to open the Excel file. Okay, we're done for the protecting the workbook and worksheet and the file sections. So we now move to the okay. Oh, before this, we have our last slide. So protect the workbook to prevent the user to adding, remaining, or deleting the worksheet in the workbook. For our case is adding the data, rename the data, or delete the data, or amend the data. Is to make our data is legit and valid in all time. So it was so protect the workbook is to secure the workbook structure or its window. So the structure is you cannot insert, delete, or rename the worksheet. Window is Excel window are the same size and position each time when the workbook open. So you can specify a password just now I show it to you all. Okay. Here. So the next one is the formula auditing. Formula auditing is to make sure the formulas is the correct one, is the valid one. So you need to like evaluate and trace the formula errors. So when doing that, you need to like identify and analyze the error and correct it. So some feature they have the error checking options. So there is a tools. So it permit to review the structure and the behavior of formulas. Okay. So the editing, some tools may display the tracer arrows. One arrows is the one of the arrows is the red and the blue arrows. So the blue arrows will explain both sales is a pre-distant sales, which is contain a value used in the formulas, or the dependent sales contain a formula that refer to the other sales. So here is the button and its descriptions. So here is example. So we move to the Excel file. So we select the selling expenses. Okay, from here what is the something wrong here? We have errors. So we have the name here, name errors, value, all errors. So how we know the error came from? So we move to the formulas. Okay. Error checking, we trace the error. So from here you will see the blue tracer arrows. So we have the blue arrow tracing arrows. So what is wrong here? So the total sales expenses is wrong because of this tree, this whole thing. But after you check one by one, it's all correct. So where is wrong? You don't know. So you click back here, error checking. So it says error in cell C10 is equal at sim bracket C4 is there. So it's the formula errors. So if you know the relationship, of course you all know the fixed cost of all this type, all this category is the their sum up. So it's the sum functions. So you go for the edit in the formula bar. So it came out. So you go to amend it. Sum function. Use the sum function. So all is done. Okay. So how about the next one? Here. Let's say I use the trace error. So you know these two are related to this error. So you try to go for another value error. Same thing. Because the none. The three none. Okay. So since we have the three none content here, actually it should be 0. It should be 0. It should be written in the number of 0. So it will cause to the value, and then later and next it will cause the error of the total selling expenses in March. So it's value. So what is the difference between is it will have the red tracer error. So red tracer error is showing that a precedent sales contain an error. So where is precedent sales? Here is our precedent sales is error. So precedent sales is error. So where is it? So it's none. All none is wrong. It should be 0. So I remove the error. So you need to amend it to be okay. So after that, when we check the error checking, so we trace the error. So it will say the tracer error comment required the active cell have content and error value. So it means that it don't have any error. It's correct already. So if go to error checking, so from here error checking only the error is this one, div 0. So where is the error? So you go for the precedence. So you will show it the errors where it's come from. So what is the error? We see it average the money expenses. So the money expenses is based on the average. So the formula is you divide the 3 months of the total selling expenses divided by 3 because it's 3 months. So since it's B10, here is empty. So this is the where it errors. So from error checking, then you edit for formulas. So it should be 3. Number 3 is done. Okay, all done. Okay, done. Okay. Hi class, let me start for the last part of our class today. So today the last part is the Power BI introduction to DAX functions. So what is DAX function? DAX function is data analysis expressions. So data analysis expression is the formula expression language used in the analysis service, Power BI and Power Pivot in Excel. So learning DAX is the easy transition for the Excels because the Excel and the Excel function and the Power BI is some sort like alike, is some sort similar, but only the difference is the Excel is based on the cell which is A1 or B2. This is a flexible canvas where you can mix the data type in a single column. DAX in the other way around is the based on table and column. It behaves like a database query. So you cannot refer a cell, you need to refer data through relationships. So in our today class, we will cover the following context or the objective. First one is to build the calculated column, create the calculated measures, and to understanding the filter context, and to working with the time intelligence functions. So the goal of this chapter is to introduce the DAX and give you the confidence to start exploring the language by your own. So because of this limited course of this chapter, because this is just the introductions, so there will not be any discussion on depth DAX concept and theory. So you need to have other books or website to be explored with. So this is a summary of difference between Excel and the DAX. So that's how we say is that Excel is based on sales and range. DAX is based on column and table. So the Excel is quite static because you need to link on the specific sales. The DAX is quite dynamic because the result change on based on the slicer and filter. So the calculation is like you type the Excel formula, you need to manually drag the sales, but the DAX is you only write once and you can use in any visual. If compare with the data volume, the Excel only have it maximum of the 1 million rows, but compare with the DAX is better because it's built for the big data, so it can cover 10 million plus of the rows. So there will be, so at first we will go for the building the calculated column. So there are many use cases for calculated column, but the two most common are as follows, which is the adding the description column or creating the concatenated key column. So we go for this is the tab table tools. This is for the way we create the new column. So Power BI also provide the IntelliSense feature. So when you type the coding, so in a sense that help you a lot in by giving this, if they say the full name, you type the equal, then the trophy sign, it will show the order table of the customer and its column. So this built-in will auto complete the code. So give you the example of the Power BI. Here is it, the Power BI. So if let's say I want have the full name of the customer table, because the customer only have the first name, middle name, and last name separately. So I want the full name, so I include the first name and the last name. So you in this example, you click on the table view. After that, the view here, the second one, and then the customer, you go for the new column, then the new column. So okay, from here you type full name. Okay, the code is, I already put the full code in the slide, so you may try it by your own. So here is the step. So this is the intellectually sense. So we are from the customer table. So we want the first name first name, then the dash, then not the dash, so it's the n. After that is the dash. So the dash, we need to close and open the apostrophe to tell the Power BI that we need the dash between the first name and the last name. So that we type the n, so apostrophe against customer, so this is so we key in the last name. So after we done, enter. So this is the result. We have the full name and the last name. So the first argument is the first name, the last argument is the last name. First name and last name, first name and last name. The center is the spacing, so here why we have the spacing here. So this is the descriptive column. The next one is the create the calculated column with the string functions. It's a string functions. Okay. So we go back to the slide. So the goal is we want a month and year column with the 2-digit month and the 4-digit year separated by a dash, making to 2 with the dash, then with the 4YY. So complete it by complete the month year formula by combine the current string with the year column. So the complete example is shown below. So the function is right there below. The step is use the click table view here. So table view, so we go to the table order table, date order table. So new column. Okay, from here we use month year. Okay, why we use the right function? Right functions mean we return of the value. We return of the specific number of a character from the end of a text string. So what is the end of a text string here? So it's the date order month number of the year. 0 is not counted, 0 is the left. So here is the date order month of a year. After that, comma 2. So we have 2 digits. There, and again, bracket, comma apostrophe, then the dash. Remember the dash, you want the dash. And that order year. So we find the year. So remember the clause. Okay, after close, make sure the bracket is turned to yellow. If not, it will turn to red. It means you will be causing the error if you enter it. So make sure the bracket is turned yellow. After that, enter. Okay, it will done. It will. The result will be the first one is the July is in number. The 2005 is in year. So it's 2 digit of the month and the 4 digit for the year. So why is right? Because we want to extract the date order month number of the year is 7. So it's the right. The left one is 0, so we tap the 0. We don't use the left one. Okay. So this is the one of the way you create the calculator column with the string function. How about you using the format function? It's the same thing. It's the same thing with the same result, but only the coding is different. Because the format is using the format function is already used the format is use the year format, like the 2M dash and with the 4Y. So we use, so after that we table tools, let me show the example. Same thing, same table view, same table with the date orders. The column name, we write the month, year, format, since we use the format functions. After that, we type the formula. We use the format functions. So it's a date order date. In this case, we read date. Okay. So that's how we show that it is format. The value is the date order date. Format is the 2M with the 4Y. 4Y, then close the bracket, close the bracket, then enter. It will produce the same result as the string function. And then for the next context is the implementing the conditional logic with if function. So here, beside if function, because our objective is like to determine the each customer age. So today and date different function is also needed. So this is the full functions. Okay, so because the today function is return the current date and time, the date different function return the count of the specified interval between two dates. So this is a complete function. So we need to go back to the table view. Here table view, customer table. You go to the tables tool, so we create the new column. After that, then you type the customer age. If format, so we choose which one of the birth date MMDD close the bracket. Okay. That difference, then customer birth date. Okay. Year, then close the bracket. That difference, birth date today, year, close the bracket, -1, close the bracket. So entered. So it will show the customer age result. Okay, 48 and the rest. So the next one, if you want to switch, okay, if you this one is for the implement the conditional logic with the switch function. So the switch function is preferable to the if function when performing the multiple logical test. It's like the if is, if as in the Excel function. So the if function here is similar with the Excel. So here switch is the if as. So you have the multiple logical test in the single DEX formula. So give you the example. If I want to have the 4 separate age group given as follows here, and then here is the complete DEX formula with the same table. So same table, customer, so new column, age breakdown, so we use a switch through customer Customer age. So we select the customer age greater and equal to 55. Result is the 55 plus close the bracket. Then again for the rest age group, other age group greater than equal to 45 to 54 close the bracket. Customer age greater than equal to 35. Then key in the range 35 until 44. Then the last one is if no, the others will be categorized to 18 to 34. And then close bracket, entered. So this is the age breakdown based on the customer age. So if you check 48, is it fill in the age group 45 to 54? Yes, it's correct. Okay. So if 60 is 55 plus. Okay. So we back to our slide. So the next one is the leveraging the existing relationship with navigation functions. This is create the relation between the temperature table with the sales table. This is create the relationship between the table A or table B. So it doesn't like the VLOOKUP in Excel or join in SQL. It doesn't have to specify the join column when you're using the related function, because this is the built-in navigation function ultimately to leverage the existing relationship in the model. So what we can do here is, so you click on table view, you find the internet sales. You go for the table tools. Also new column. For the new column, okay, from here temperature key, related self territory, we choose the regions. Then n related again, because we want to relate the two different tables. So that order, we choose a month, number of the year. Then close bracket, enter. Okay, correct. Okay, make sure the bracket is correct. Okay, so we done for the temperature key. So how we connect with the relationship? So back to our cell, back our slide is, this is the way we connect the relationship. Okay, so I demonstrate for you. So from the table tools, we click on the manage the relationship. We press the new relationship. Okay, I repeat, manage the relationship, click new relationship, and then from the table we choose internet sales. So we scroll until what we find is the temperature key. Is it correct? Yeah, temperature key. Then after that we find the temperature, so the key here. So here no need to change, save. Okay, we have already here. So we check on the relationship. So here is a new one. Okay, here is a new one. Here is a relationship. Okay, key. Okay, you can see when I click here, key to the temperature key. This is the relationship. So back out was like the next one is create the calculated measure. So there will be several benefits to use the implicit measure. The measure can be built from other measures. Can reuse the measure, make the code easier to read. So they can encapsulate the code, make a logic change, so it make it less time consuming. So to define the number formatting and create the consistency. So calculate measure can do by it can be assigned to any table or further assigned to the folder within that table. So they interact with all the relationship in the table activity, unlike the calculated column. They are not materialized in the columns, therefore they cannot validate in the data view. So this is disadvantage from it lah. So you cannot see it as a table. So in this class we only calculate with the simple one. So since we are the business, so the following calculation measures I think you all should be familiar with: total sale, total cost, profit, and the profit margins. So we come to the total cost. Before that, total sales. So we back to the internet sales. Okay. So for the new mesh for the calculated measure, we not go for the new column, we go for the new measure. So the new measure, okay. From here is measured. You type the code total sales for the new column name. This is new measure name, sum of internet sales amount. So it's internet, okay, internet sales amount. So you find the internet sales amount, cross bracket, enter. So here will be displayed. But before that, make sure the currency need to be in USD. For our case, it's USD. But if you go for other country, the company they most use the euro or renminbi or Japanese yen or euro. Then you need to change to their currency. If Malaysia, of course, you need to use ringgit Malaysia. Okay, this is, I think it's quite simple for total sales. Then we move to the other total cost and total profit and the profit margins. The total cost is the same data view, same table. So you back to table tools, new measured. Okay, after that you type the total cost sum bracket sum, no need bracket since they already built it for you. So you back to the internet sales, total product cost, 5,000 product cost. Here total product cost, bracket, enter. Same thing, all these total sales, total cost, profit, you need to change to be its format to US dollar. And then the next one is profit. Okay, profit is a bit different. Since you already measured for the total sales and total cost, so the profit will be more easier compared to others. So profit will be, you done profit, done type profit, so is the, you just open the bracket, you type minus, then total cost. Okay, after you done type the total sales, total cost, you straight to type enter. Okay, this is the profit because you already done for the total sales and total cost. So the profit is equal to total sales minus total cost. Now, and then remember what I say is before. What I say is make sure to change the currency. Okay, now for the next one is the profit margin. Profit margin. Okay. Profit margin, the formula is divide profit and total sales. So divide profit and total sales. Close the bracket, then enter. Then we done. But this one is special case. You need to change the format into not currency, is the percentage. Okay. But if you, okay, we done for the four calculated measure, total sales, cost, profit, and margin. So the next step, if you want to organize your measure, this is the way we measure. This is the way we organize it. So from here, we find the total sales. We control click with total sales, total cost, profit, and margin. But before that, we need to go to the model view. Okay, this is the model view. So still remember we need to find the table of internet sales. Then we control click total sales, total cost, profit margin, profit. Okay, display value is the measured. That you enter, then in the measured folder it will have these four measured that we just now calculated. Then we is in one folder, one measured folder. It already grouped into one measured folder. So you don't need to find around this whole branch of the data. So you just start find the measured, then you have all the measurements. All the measured. So other than that, okay, the next one will be understanding the filter context. So the filter context is a simple definition is it's simply anything in your report that use the filtering the measure. So it quite a few items that make up the filter context. So like I take a look at a few of them. So any attribute on the rows, so attribute on the columns, or filter apply of slicer, effective slicer pen, or effective the at the counted measure. So give an example is like if you want, let's assume we want to return the total sale of each country as a percentage of all the country. So we need to use the calculated functions. So because the calculated function can use to ignore or override or change the existing filter context. So this is the two function that we use for this one to return the total sale of each country. This is the all function. It return all the rows on the table or all the value in the column. It ignore any filter that may have been applied. Okay, remove filter also can, but usually the most used is the all function. So let us try to do it. So back to the table view. Okay, table view, you back to the internet sales table. New measured. Okay, in this menu measured name, we type the total sales all country. Then we use the calculate functions. Okay, calculate functions. Bracket, so we use the total sales or sales territory country. Then close the brackets, then close the bracket again, enter. So we have it done for the total sales all country here. So we try back to report view. Okay, table. Okay, we find the internet sales. Okay. All country. And then we find the sale of the measured is a measured total sales. And then the sales territory by country. So we cannot see here is the by country. Then we arrange it. Okay, here. It will show you here. And why is NA here? Because total sales or country will ignore the NA filter and return the return the total sale for all country. Therefore, the NA value now appear in the table visual. So this is the either because the all is already ignore the filter context, but this is just the halfway. Okay, this is halfway. We still need to find our objective is return the total sale of each country as a percentage of all countries. So we need the percentage. So here is the percentage of all country. So this is the full formula. So we go back to the Power BI. We back to the table. Okay, so we go for the internet sales. New measured. Okay, for this time we use the percentage of all country. We use a function of divide total sales, comma bracket again, total sale of all countries, then close the bracket, enter. Okay, so we just like we do the just now, we do the categorize total sales and ship, then we put the display folder is the percentage change, all countries, entered. So you have the component here. So we back to the report view. So if let's say I want to put the this one percentage, so it will come up. So if you don't want the NA is easy, so is the this one filter okay, see okay ready. Okay, select all, then you uncheck the NA, then it will remove the NA. But why is the 0.31? Okay, so let me check with how. So in this here, we need to we need to change the format into percentage. I'll change the percentage, it will go back to the percentage format. So this is the correct one. Okay, so we done for the percentage change and total sales and how to filter it out, how to filter out the NA, and also understand the filter context. So the last part is the working with the time intelligent functions. Okay, the DAX is advantage is the DAX have the comparison list of built-in time intelligent functions, so it can be easily to leverage and add the significant analytic value to the data model. So here is an example, a view function to be used the following measure: the Y2D sales or Y2D sales with the physical calendar or period year sales. So to create the year to D calculations, you have the formula. But the Y2D sale, just remember to format all the measure as its currency. For our case, is now is the US dollar. So this is the fiscal Y2D. Okay. So to this the function we will use, the total YTD function. Total YTD function also have the optional parameter to change the default year end date, because the default year end date is the December of 31st. So this is optional function, the parameter that you can use, change the year end date December 31st to different date. So if you put the different date, it will become the fiscal year calendar. So it's here, fiscal year calendar, fiscal calendar. So this is a period year, which means is previous year. It also can use for the previous month or previous week or previous day, but for this case we use the previous year. So there are many function index, so to work in conjunction with the calculate function to make this calculation possible. So make sure you need to know the DAX function, especially the calculate function. It's just because it's used quite a lot. So the calculate is used to take the current filter context and modify it into 1 year period. So you see the calculate total sales is sum of the internet sales and sales amount. Okay, same period last year is change the filter context to go back to the 1 year, back onto 1 year. So as I said, this measure also work for the day, month, quarter, year level of the hierarchy. So let us try to do the YTD sales first. So back to the Power BI, we back to the table view. Since we have already in the internet sales table, so we just go to the new measured. YTD sales, total YTD is the function that we use, total YTD functions, then the total sales, and then with the date, order date. Okay, here, close bracket, enter. So we have the YTD sales. But before that, we need to change the currency. Okay, for the next one, still same. Internet sales, new measured. But the title we change to fiscal year. Fiscal year. Fiscal YTD sales. Just same function, same argument. Only the difference is you put the different date. Okay, it's for normal year end, default year ends date is that's how I say is December of 31st. And this is the normal normal YTD functions. The argument also of two, total sales and the date order date. If you want the fiscal, you need to add at the specific date. If let's say March of 31st, let's say your this is more useful in the accounting firm, or you want to do the year end report. Okay, accounting firm usually they close the accounting report each month, so maybe March of 31st you close the account. So this is the one of the way to use the fiscal year. Okay, after that you close bracket, enter. Okay, you're done for the fiscal YTD sales. And then if you want to categorize, so you just from here you highlighted the fiscal YTD, then you highlight the YTD, then you put the display, you say YTD sales, entered. So you have three both. So you back here. Okay, let's have a look the difference between the fiscal and the YTD tables. So from the slide here, comparing the YTD sales and fiscal sales. So normal YTD, that's what I said, is based on the year default year end date. Year end date is December of 31st. So is start from here until the December. Then the next one is the opening the new account, the new sales already. It start calculated from the January. If the fiscal year, just now we put the March of 31st. So it's the end of the March. So end of March. So the fiscal YTD sales is it calculated start from July 2025 until 31st of March 2006. Then after that is start the new sales amount in the April of 2006. So this is the difference between default YTD sales and the fiscal YTD sales. So the next one is the period year calculations. So back here, period year calculations. same new measured. So the measured period year, we type the new measured name, period year sales, calculate the total sales. Okay, same period last year. Okay, my DAX function is not you need to follow everything. Okay, it's same, it serves same as Excel function. They got a lot of other alternative way. It can make you even faster or even convenient. Maybe you can do like multiple formula in one. Maybe you can use multiple function in one formula, or you can use like more even faster way. Maybe the code maybe even shorter, but it gives the same result. Just now I show you about the format and the string function. String function is quite long, so if you use format function, it's quite short. Okay, so this is you need to discover by your own. So for this case is you will use to calculate. So the sample period can be used another way to obtain the same result. So in this case is the date, then cross bracket again, then enter. So here is the period year sale. So we done our DAX function for today. So done. So we already cover for the these four objective or context. Okay, so we done it for today. Thank you, class, and have a nice holiday.